All right, welcome. This is comma rule number 3, comma splices. Now, this is the only rule which is about a bad way to use a comma. The other rules are about the good ways in which you use a comma. Comma splices are bad. They're essentially a type of run-on sentence that uses a comma. And especially after learning our last rule, comma rule number 2 about fanboys, this one should be pretty easy to get. So let's talk about what that rule is. So, comma splice, what is it? It's when two independent clauses are joined together with only a comma. Not a comma and a fanboys like we went over with the last rule. Let's take a quick look at an example of what a comma splice is. Driving a car is fast and comfortable, comma. Riding a bicycle is better for your health. This is a bad sentence. This is a run-on known as a comma splice. Notice this comma right here. This is the offending comma. Now, if a comma splice is two independent clauses joined together with only a comma, let's just make sure that these are two independent clauses so we can be sure that it's a comma splice. This first clause here, driving a car is fast and comfortable. All right, driving a car is actually your subject, is your verb, fast and comfortable. Does this make sense as its own sentence? Driving a car is fast and comfortable. Sure does. That is an independent clause. Let's take a look at this other one here. Riding a bicycle is better for your health. Riding a bicycle is the subject, is the verb. And again, that makes sense as a whole sentence here. Complete thought, riding a bicycle is better for your health. So sure enough, this is also an independent clause. And yes, we are correct. This is a comma splice because two sentences are joined together with only a comma. Okay, now there are 4 ways to fix this comma splice. And because of the last rule that you guys learned, the fanboys rule, you know the easiest first way to fix a comma splice, add a fanboys. So, first way to fix it, add a fanboy. What fanboy can we add after this comma? Driving a car is fast and comfortable. How about but? But riding a bicycle is better for your health. Boom. So, first way to fix it, add a fanboy after the comma. Second way to fix this comma splice, these are two independent clauses. Why don't you just make them two sentences? Second way to fix it, turn that comma, that bad comma, into a period. Capitalize the R for writing. Now it's two sentences. Driving a car is fast and comfortable, period. Riding a bicycle is better for your health, period. That is the second way to fix this. Third way to fix this comma splice. Turn the comma into a semicolon. All right, that's a combination between the colon and a comma. What a semicolon does is its job is to actually connect two related independent clauses. These clauses are related to each other, similar subject. Driving a car is fast and comfortable, semicolon. Riding a bicycle is better for your health, period. Now, the fourth and last way to fix these comma splices is the most difficult way. You got to employ something called a subordinator. Let's take a quick look at some subordinators before we actually use them. I have a little list for you, so be ready to write some of these down. All right, so I have a large list of subordinators, which I'll put on Google Classroom, but here are the major, most frequently used subordinators. As you can see, they're little words or phrases, and what they do is they make an independent clause dependent or subordinate. Subordinate means lower in order. So, what we can do is we can add one of these subordinators in front of one of the two clauses of our sentence to make one of them dependent or subordinate. Let's check it out. So, you can put a subordinator in front of either one of these clauses to make it dependent. Let's throw in while in front of the second clause here. Driving a car is fast and comfortable, while riding a bicycle is better for your health. All right? This while makes the second clause dependent. Therefore, you do not need a comma or anything. Okay. However, when you put your subordinator in front of the first clause, there's a little trick here, so pay attention. Let's look at one. Okay, let's put the subordinator although before this clause here. Although driving a car is fast and comfortable, riding a bicycle is better for your health. Now here's the asterisk. When you put the subordinator in front of the first clause, you do need a comma after that first clause. Where in our last example, the subordinator was in front of the second clause, then you do not need a comma. That's the tricky sticking point. Okay. So, those are the 4 rules for fixing the dreaded comma splice. Obviously, some are easier than others, but again, any of them work. Depends on how you want your sentence to sound. Some people might think using a subordinator sounds a little bit more complex, which maybe even a little classier. So there you go. Boom. Your skills are now greater.